I have a lot of Rick Owens shoes. 10 pairs across 9 different silhouettes, which I didn't even realize I had this many until I was laying them all around me, which seemed like a way better idea at the time. So how have I ended up here, surrounded by my Rick Owens footwear, in my den of monetary shame? Well, I want to tell you everything you need to know about Rick Owens shoes, from fit to feel, sizing, little tips and tricks if you're interested in buying any of these. And I think across these, it should cover everything you're looking for. Unless you're into like the Rick Owens X Veja collabs, and if you need help with that, yeah, you need more help than I can give you, because it would mean you're not right in the head. That's the joke. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's start looking at these shoes. And just for reference, I've thrown a pair of Vans slip-ons on, the Needles pair. I feel like probably everyone here has worn a pair of Vans slip-ons or Old Schools or whatever at some point, so this should be a solid point of reference. This is a size 10 pair, and let's find my toe here. Right there. Yeah, perfect. Let's start with the big daddies, the Geo Baskets. Yeah, I throw my Geo Baskets because I don't give a crap. I can't swear. YouTube monetization, I'm sure you understand. All right, first let's talk about fit, and I'm going to give you a real example here and show you how they fit on me. So I'm a size 10. I usually buy a 43 in Rick Owens just to give you a frame of reference here. All right, I've got the shoe on, zipping her up. And I would say Geo Baskets are pretty notorious for fitting big, so let's see about that here. And this is what I'm going to be doing for every single pair of shoes we're looking at today. I'm going to show you where my toes fall in the toe box. So I've got my heel pressed right up against the back of the shoe right now. And with that done, the tip of my toe, I've got to feel it. Like I feel the top of my toenail right there for my big toe. So that's actually a good amount of free space, more than it feels like while wearing it, but they do feel roomy, I'll say that much. And this is where it becomes really helpful that they're high tops, because the zipper and the laces, especially the laces, the extra long laces wrapping around, they actually grab your ankle nice and tight and hold your foot in. If these were low tops, I don't think this would work out quite the same at all. And by the way, that sizing is perfectly consistent between both pairs of Geo Baskets I own, so I think it's safe to say that that holds up between eras and colorways. Now, as for the feel, I find it really nice. The insole, it's cushy, but you have a lot of ground feel beneath your feet, and the upturn of the kind of outsole here means that you get a nice strike with each step, and you get a nice full step. You're not just landing flat every single time. I will say, again, due to the big sizing, there's a little bit of flopping around in there that you may want to size down for if you're worried about. But in the end, like I said, that high ankle really helps out here. And as for occasions to wear this, you know, you're not going to go running in it. Despite the look, you're not going to be playing basketball in it, I wouldn't say. So this is very much, I think, a lifestyle sneaker in that you're wearing it when you're trying to look good. And I don't know if it has that many uses outside of that, if I'm being honest. But, like, they look good, so there's a reason I have 2 pairs, you know? All right, next up, let's do something a little bit more obscure. These are the mint green pony hair Mastodon sneakers. So I would say in terms of the construction and shape and everything, they're maybe most similar to the Ramones, except they don't have the rubber top to the vamp here. And you'll see these in all sorts of different materials. This is pony hair, but I've seen them in like regular leather. I think I've seen like kangaroo leather ones. He's made these in a bunch of different weird materials. They're super cool. I love them. They're like runway sneakers, super rare. But let's talk about sizing because I have some things to say here. And by the way, this is the only pair out of the bunch that isn't a 43. This is a 42.5. These were the second Rick Owens sneakers I ever got. So I decided, okay, those were big. Let's size down a half size to a 42.5. And let's see how that went. All right, I've got them on. I've got my heel all the way up at the back. Now let's see where my toe is. You can actually see it poking up here. It is right there at the very edge. So that half size somehow shrunk it like to this much, which shows there's some inconsistency in sizing here, because a 42.5, if you're going by the Geo Basket sizing, should not end up all the way over here. So they're just straight up too tight. That's how it is. And the other thing I'll say about these, as far as the fit goes, is they are narrow and they are tight. Like, I had to unlace these. How many holes is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, down to the 5th hole to be able to fit my foot in them. There's no zipper or anything to get in there, and that makes it just kind of not a very fun shoe to wear. Let me get these off and explain to you. So I understand for a high tops like these, for many shoes I have to undo the first couple, maybe down to the 2nd or 3rd to be able to squeeze my foot in. But down to the 5th, that just makes them not fun to wear, to have to unlace them down to here, put them on, lace them back up, then when I get home, take them off, do it all down again. It makes me just not wear these very often at all. And along with the small sizing, this is just a pair of shoes I think I would avoid if you have the budget to go for something else. I would just find maybe like a nice pair of Ramones or something like that for you. Like, hey, do they look cool? Yeah, it's a really nice figure. Got the classic Rick Owens accents. The fabrication is as nutty as it gets. I mean, come on, the color's great. But geez, they're not fun shoes to wear. I'm sorry, Rick. All right, next up, let's stay in the sneaker realm and talk about the Ramones. And these are technically the abstract Ramones, but they are literally Rick Owens Ramones, but then with a giant chunky rubber sole around the outside. So they're going to work essentially the same, whether they're the abstract or regular Ramones. All right, let's throw these on, talk about sizing. All right, I've got them put on. I've got my foot up against the heel, and right there. So I would say that's quite similar to the Geo Baskets. Maybe the tiniest bit closer to true to size, but still quite big. And these being a low top, you feel them flopping around much, much more than the Geo Baskets, in my opinion. And there's some other things that hurt them there as well, both in terms of the sizing and the fit. For instance, these are really simple sneakers. They're meant to be kind of Rick Owens' take on Converse, something like that. So they're kept really simple. Like, there's not a whole lot catching you at the back of the heel here, whereas the Geo Baskets are more padded and things. These are just kind of open, and they don't grab you around the ankle as much. So again, the flopping can become a bit of an issue if you don't size right. However, the lacing here can help out a lot. And I think, if you can find a half size, they're pretty hard to find. I don't even know if he makes them in every colorway. Go down a half size. Otherwise, I'd probably take your chances with your true size and just lace up tight. Now, would I call them incredibly comfortable? No, I'd say they're average in terms of comfort, but because they're low top, I find them a little bit more wearable on a day-to-day level than the Geo Baskets. All right, the next sneaker we're looking at, the Maximal Runners. And I think that everything I say here should hold up for both the regular runners and probably even the Geth runners, since they all have the same kind of general base shoe underneath. All right, sizing time. This one's interesting. All right, the shoe is on. I'm up against the back heel. Toes going up. Again, we're back to a size 43 now. So my natural size, you saw where it was on the Geo Baskets and the Ramones. Where's my toe? Boom, right there. And since it's narrowing so much, that really is the tip of the effective shoe right there. So I am right up against it. That's as tight as I would possibly want it, which means that these are like perfect true to size, actually. Sized very differently from the other sneakers we've looked at so far. So for this, I would say definitely stick to your normal size. And there's some other things that make it really interesting for that much tighter fit. For instance, look at how padded everything is. This tongue is full of padding right here. And this heel counter, that's like a car seat type of thing right here. That is puffy. The insole is nice and cushy, and even the sides have all sorts of padding. So it's tight, but it's like having a pillow wrapped around you. These are incredibly comfortable. I have not given like the day-to-day active suggestion for any of these sneakers yet, but I wear these to the gym semi-regularly. That's probably sacrilege to some people, but I find them incredibly comfortable and easy to wear. My biggest pet peeve so far is like if you get really close in here, you can see that at the midsole, it's starting to crease, these like compression creases, but I wear these probably the most out of any of my Rick Owens shoes, and there's a reason for that. Both the accurate sizing and all of this padding making it so comfortable all around. All right, next up we're going to talk boots, then we'll talk collabs, and then that'll be the video. But back to the boots, we're going to start here with the, wow, I can't even get these all in frame. The Tractor sock boot sneakers. I don't know if these belong in the boot section or the sneaker section, but we'll call them snoots. And these are just like super chunky, kind of like toothy soled boots here with this crazy long, like I think it's elastane and leather, this wild combo. The cops are coming for me. They found out I have too much Rick Owens here. All right, anyway, let's get these put on. All right, I've got them put on here. It's a 43 once again for reference. I've got my heel up against the back here, and let's find the toe. I'll lift it up. Okay, look at that, right on the stitch line here. So I would say these fit a little bit big, but not quite as big as the Ramones, and definitely not as big as the Geo baskets. And if I lift up here, especially at the front, I can feel them shaking around. But given this crazy tight kind of compression sock going all the way up to my knee here, they stay in pretty darn well. And as for like the use of these, I mean, they're best for when you're trying to pull off a fit. That's really their claim to fame here, I would say. I don't know that they have that many uses outside of it. The feel is fine. It's not bad. This leather counter here definitely helps. This sock section grabs you pretty nice and tight, so they stay on pretty well, like I said. But yeah, these are definitely a fashion-forward kind of piece of footwear here. And just the one pro tip I would give for these, they're easy to get off, but quite hard to get on. So when you're putting them on, just come in at like an angle. Have your foot kind of sideways coming in, and then turn it inwards to get up to the toe. That's a little piece of advice from me to you. All right, let's move on to the boots, starting with the wedge boots. Now, these are an absolutely wild pair of shoes. They look much more like a piece of women's footwear, like they've got a very feminine look to them. My cat's here. Hey, bud. Oh, okay. So he might just be chilling here. Yeah, so they got a very feminine look, high heel. It's just like a covered high heel, then the foot goes inward here. But let's put them on and talk sizing. All right, I've got these put on. It's pretty hard to actually get up against the heel and back because they naturally fall forward because of this angle, but I'll force my heel to the back here. All right, where's the toe? Boom, right there. So these, I would say, are significantly oversized to some degree. Like, that's a good amount. But again, with the tapering, probably the last, like, half inch of that isn't super usable. But I would say they definitely fit big. Now, I don't find that to be a huge deal since your foot naturally comes down to its perfect resting point anyway, but it is good to keep an eye on. Other kind of like fit and feel things that I think are of note here, I find them very easy to get on. That's a lot of elastication here at the sides that makes it really easy in this Chelsea style to slip on, along with the leather pull tab back here, makes it really quick and easy to get these on and off. And finally, I do have one pro tip on these. Easily the first thing to go is the little bit of a heel back here. You can see that this is worn down and then it started wearing away the stacked leather heel at the back here. And I do think that's a bit of a failing on Rick Owens' part. So what I would do is I would suggest going to like a cobbler or something and getting a little bit of like a Vibram half heel or something measured and put in here so that you're not putting all that pressure right on the back corner there, because that's when you start to get this wear that we're seeing here. All right, the next boot here is the Kiss boot. What, you thought I was going to throw my Kiss boot? No, I put it down gently like a baby. It deserves to be pampered, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, once again, another Chelsea boot here, but a much taller one. So let's put this on and talk about sizing. All right, I've got it on. This one I'd say is quite a bit more difficult than the wedge boots to put on, just because of that higher kind of cut here. But sizing, I'm all the way back up against the edge. Toe, where are we? We are way up here. So I would say that's pretty much true to size. I think it fits like an authentic 43 or US size 10. As for the feel, I think a very big part of that is how capable you actually even are of walking in them. And these are harder to walk in. That's a much bigger heel. Here, let me get the wedge boots out here. So, all right, let's make these even. Right here is the Kiss boot, which is, that's got like 1.5 inches on the wedges. So you definitely need to be careful. You got to keep your balance. You're not going to be going for any runs in these, but I don't find them that difficult, in that context at least, to walk in. The one other pro tip I've got, also around the heel. As you walk, it puts all of the force on the back of this acrylic heel right here, and luckily Rick Owens does recognize that too, so if you buy these new at least, they give you an extra set of these little bottoms here, which is really important, but it's very important to recognize that this is going to wear down quite fast as you wear them. And you'll note that mine isn't very worn at all, because I barely ever wear these things. Like, when would I? But I still treasure them quite dearly. All right, and now we are moving on to the collabs, but still with boots, because we've got the Doc Martens. Now, this is the jumbo lace variant, but I have a feeling sizing for all of these will be pretty consistent from model to model. All right, let's throw them on. All right, I've got them on, getting my heel up against the back here. All right, toe, where are we at? Yeah, I think I was dead on, right there. And again, this not very effective size, so I think this is pretty close to true to size, maybe just a teensy bit bigger. And by the way, this is a Doc Martens size 9, which on the box they say is like a US 10, so I think that's actually pretty accurate. And despite being a sort of mid/high top boot, they're really easy to get on and off thanks to this side zipper. It's on the outside too, provides it with a nice look. And one other thing I'd like to add here is the feel is actually incredible. I've been super unimpressed with Doc Martens for the last few years, I would say. Like, I remember growing up with them, I loved them. But man, every Doc I've ever tried on in the past few years has been absolute trash. But I think the credit for the comfort of these comes down to this leather. I'm sure it is incredibly low-grade, fake, plastic, additive leather here, but the softness is just insane. It's so insane that I don't care. Both on the inside and outside, it's got this cushion to it. Like, I don't know if you can tell how much I'm pressing it in here, but it feels unlike any leather I've ever felt before. And even though you can tell it's cheap and like coated, man, is it comfortable. So yeah, I think these are a pretty dang good buy, especially like the price you can find this particular model at now. They're a pretty good deal, so I would suggest it to anybody interested in Rick Owens boots or Doc Martens boots, because these are way better than other Doc Martens. God dang. And the final Rick Owens shoe we're looking at today, the final collab we're looking at today, are the Converse. Man, I cannot get these to throw right, can I? Now, these are the Chuck Taylors with the squared off toe here. Very interesting, kind of mimicking the grill of the Kiss boots. I vibe. All right, let's get these put on. All right, I've got them on, and please note that I was able to get these on while only undoing one lace hole. Remember back to the Mastodons where I had to go down 5? That makes a big difference over the lifespan of the shoe in terms of how likely I am to pick it up off the shelf and actually put them on. But anyway, okay, heel up against the back, good. Now where is the toe? And by the way, these are size 10s. It's hard with the rubber here. I am right there. Okay, so that's like, I think, as close to true to size as you're gonna get. But also note, while I have these on, how narrow they are. You can see my foot coming over the edges. So I'll lift up, and you can see it skinny out, and now I step down, and it fattens out. So it is a very narrow sole where it comes in here. So as far as the fit and feel especially goes, they're a pair of Converse. I'm gonna guess if you're watching this video, you've worn Converse at some point. Yes, they're Rick Owens collabs, but they're still made in Converse factories. Like, yeah, the corduroy is cool, kind of, or denim, I guess they are. The high tongue with the turbo dark tag, that's cool. The squared off toe, that's cool. But in the end, they fit and feel like a pair of Chuck Taylors, because that is what they are. So I hope this guide was very helpful to you. I don't know why I'm still here on the ground. Someone please help me. Someone get me if I need a hand, okay? And while I'm waiting for that hand, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff, and I'll see you next time. Man, it's awkward being down here. Let me up. Let me up.